Every single day, without realizing it, you throw away something that could be healing your body. The peel of the fruit you just ate, the pulp left in the juicer, the fiber trapped in the strainer. Small, forgotten pieces of life. Pieces that nature designed not to be wasted but to protect you. We live in a world that worships convenience. We want food that looks smooth, feels soft, tastes light. We want everything easy to chew, easy to digest, easy to throw away. And in that comfort, we've lost the very part of food that keeps us alive. Because what you call waste is exactly what your body is craving. That rough texture, that bit of pulp, that thin layer of peel, that's where the real medicine lives. It's full of fiber that scrubs your gut clean, regulates digestion, and reduces the pressure that builds up in the veins of your rectum. The same pressure that leads to swelling, pain, and bleeding, the root of hemorrhoids. While we polish, refine, and filter our food, our bodies quietly suffer. We eat for flavor, not for function. We fill ourselves, but we don't nourish. And so the pain grows slowly, not loud at first, but constant, like a whisper from deep inside your gut saying, "I need what you've been throwing away." You see, the body is not cruel, it's honest. When it aches, it's not punishing you, it's asking for help. When it swells, it's signaling that something inside is out of balance. And when you listen, when you give it back what you've taken away, it begins to heal itself quietly, naturally, completely. Because nature never created half a food. When she gave sweetness, she gave fiber to balance it. When she created soft pulp, she wrapped it in a firm peel to protect it. Everything had a purpose, everything worked together. But we decided we knew better. We wanted juice without pulp, rice without bran, bread without texture, fruit without peel. We wanted perfection, and we ended up with disease. The truth is simple. The part of food you throw away is the part that saves you. It's the key to a clean gut, healthy blood flow, and calm, healed veins. So before you reach for another bottle of cream or another pill to ease the burning, pause for a moment. Look at what's on your plate and what isn't. Stay with me until the end of this video, because today you'll discover why that small forgotten part of your food can shrink hemorrhoids, reduce inflammation, and bring real relief in just a few days, without medicine, without pain, and without effort. Healing doesn't always come from a pharmacy. Sometimes it comes from the trash can you never thought to question. Inside you, there's a world you rarely think about, a complex living universe that decides how you feel, how you heal, and how you hurt. It's your gut, not just a tube that digests food, but a second brain, full of nerves, blood vessels, and billions of living organisms. It's where balance begins, or where disease takes root. When everything works as it should, your gut moves like a quiet tide, steady, effortless, alive. Food travels through smoothly, toxins are flushed out, and your blood flows freely through every tiny vein. That balance keeps pressure low, inflammation under control, and pain far away. But when the gut slows down, everything changes. Without enough fiber, the rough, natural part of food that gives it life, the system begins to stall. Waste sits longer inside, moisture is lost, and every movement becomes a struggle. The body has to push harder, and with every push, pressure rises in the veins of the rectum. That's how hemorrhoids are born, not overnight, but through years of imbalance. Most people think hemorrhoids are a local problem, something that happens down there. But that's only the symptom. The real cause is inside, in the slow rhythm of your gut, in the food you stripped of its natural parts, in the fiber you threw away day after day. When the intestines stop moving naturally, toxins that should have left your body start circulating again. Your liver works overtime. Your blood thickens. Inflammation begins to rise, and the first place it shows up is in your most delicate veins, the ones that can't handle pressure. Pain, itching, swelling, these are not random. They're signs of a body that's been silenced, a system begging to move again. But movement doesn't come from laxatives. It doesn't come from force. It comes from fiber, from the parts of food that were never meant to be removed, from the skins, the pulps, the husks, those quiet heroes that clean, soften, and restore. When you bring them back into your diet, your gut remembers what it was built to do. The waste passes smoothly. The pressure drops. The inflammation begins to cool. The blood flows again, light and calm. That's when healing truly starts. Not from something new, but from what you decided to reclaim. And if you're wondering how we lost that connection, how we began throwing away what heals us most, the answer lies in the way we changed our food, in the name of comfort, convenience, and taste. That's what we'll uncover next. Somewhere along the road of progress, we started to believe that food should look perfect, smooth, bright, clean, effortless. We traded nature's design for factory precision. And in doing so, we stripped food of the very parts that kept us alive. The moment the first grain was polished, the first juice filtered, the first loaf bleached white, a quiet disconnection began. We took away the peel, the pulp, the fiber, and with it, the body's natural rhythm. White rice replaced brown. Soft bread replaced whole grain. Filtered juice replaced the fruit itself. We began eating food that filled the stomach but starved the cells. What looks light on the plate is heavy in the body. Because when you eat refined food, your gut receives no texture, no resistance, no movement. It's like asking a river to flow without water. The stool becomes hard, the intestines strain, and blood vessels begin to bear the weight of every forced motion. Day after day the pressure builds, invisible at first until the veins at the end of the digestive tract can no longer hold it. That's when the pain begins. And yet, we call it normal. We call it aging. We call it stress. But it's none of those things. It's the simple consequence of eating food that's been hollowed out, stripped of its power to heal. The food industry sells comfort. It tells you that convenience is modern, that smooth is better than rough, that refined means quality. But your body knows the truth. It craves what's real, what's coarse, what still carries the heartbeat of the earth. When you eat only what's soft and polished, your gut becomes tired and silent. The pressure rises, the blood thickens, and inflammation quietly spreads through your system. It's not an accident. It's a design flaw we created ourselves. But nature hasn't changed. She's been waiting for you to return to what she made perfect from the start. Because the very thing that the modern world taught you to throw away is the same thing that restores you. The healing you're looking for doesn't come in a box or a bottle. It's already in your kitchen, hidden in the scraps you've been calling waste. And in the next part, you'll see exactly why that forgotten portion of your food isn't just good for you. It's the natural key to shrinking hemorrhoids, reducing inflammation, and bringing back the balance your body has been missing for years. It's strange, isn't it? The very part of food that we call waste is the one that heals us fastest. The peel that ends up in the trash, the pulp left behind in the juicer, the rough edges we've learned to avoid, that's where the medicine is. Inside those forgotten layers live the fibers, the enzymes, and the anti-inflammatory compounds that the body depends on to repair itself. They're the quiet doctors of nature, working invisibly, without fanfare, but with precision. The peel of an apple, for example, is rich in pectin, a soluble fiber that soothes inflammation, balances digestion, and strengthens the walls of your veins. Orange pulp and the white layer under its skin contain flavonoids that improve blood circulation and reduce swelling. Pumpkin and carrot peels are packed with beta-carotene and zinc, helping the tissue around the rectum to heal and rebuild. Even the humble papaya, when eaten with its soft inner fibers, gently stimulates the bowels and relieves pressure naturally. Each of these discarded parts plays a role, not as supplements, not as medicine, but as food the way nature intended it to be. When you throw them away, you're not just losing vitamins, you're cutting off the body's ability to clean itself from within. Fiber is the broom of your digestive system. It collects what doesn't serve you, absorbs excess fat and toxins, and carries them out softly, efficiently, completely. Without it, waste stays longer inside. The pressure rises, the veins expand, and the pain grows. With it, everything moves again. The stool softens, the gut relaxes, the blood flows freely. This is why the change can happen so quickly. Because the body was never truly sick. It was simply waiting to receive what it was missing. So when you start keeping what you once threw away, when you eat the peel, when you stop straining your juice, when you choose whole instead of refined, You give your body permission to heal. It doesn't take months. It doesn't take effort. It just takes consistency. Within days, the difference becomes real. Less swelling, less bleeding, less burning. A sense of calm inside your gut. A kind of quiet you may not have felt in years. That's the power of what nature built. Simple, uncomplicated, complete. And in the next part, you'll understand what happens inside your body when it finally starts to work the way it was always meant to, when digestion flows, pressure fades, and your body, once again, begins to breathe. When the body finally receives what it has been missing, it doesn't need time to think. It remembers. The gut begins to move again, softly, naturally, without effort. The blood flows more freely. The veins in the rectal area relax, and that deep nagging pressure starts to fade away. It's as if the body sighs in relief, as if every cell whispers, "Thank you." Fiber does more than clean. It restores. It brings back harmony to a system that was forced to work under strain. It balances what comes in and what goes out, what nourishes and what must leave. And when that balance returns, so does comfort. The results are not just physical. When your intestines flow freely, your mind becomes lighter too. Your energy increases, your sleep improves, and the fatigue that came from constant inflammation starts to dissolve. That's because a calm gut means calm blood, and calm blood means calm nerves. Most people chase quick relief. They buy creams, sitz baths, and medications that numb the pain for a few hours. But the truth is, real healing doesn't come from numbing. It comes from movement. The kind of movement that happens deep inside you when food begins to do what it was designed to do. Imagine waking up and feeling no heaviness, no burning after sitting too long, no fear before going to the bathroom. That's not wishful thinking. It's physiology. When the stool softens and passes easily, there's no more friction, no more tearing, no more pressure. The veins calm down, the swelling retreats, and the inflammation that once ruled your days slowly disappears. You start to realize something simple but powerful. Your body was never against you. It wasn't broken. It was protecting itself the only way it knew how, by crying out through pain when it was ignored. Once you listen, once you give it back what it needs, it begins to cooperate again. A few days of eating differently, of keeping the peels and fibers in your meals, and the difference becomes undeniable. Your body starts to heal, not because you forced it, but because you finally stopped fighting it. This is how the pain fades, not by adding more, but by taking less away, by bringing back the part of food that once made you whole. Healing doesn't shout. It's quiet, rhythmic, patient. It shows up in small moments, in your digestion, in your comfort, in your peace. But to keep that peace, you need one last step, a shift that goes beyond food, a way to live so your body never has to send you the same warning again. That's what the final part is about. How to keep your body balanced, your gut alive, and your health steady, for good. Healing doesn't end when the pain disappears. It begins when you finally understand what your body has been trying to tell you. All those years of discomfort weren't punishment. They were signals. They were your body whispering, "I'm tired, I need care, I need what you've been throwing away." True healing is not a miracle, it's a reunion. A moment when you and your body start working together again instead of against each other. You don't have to change your life overnight. You just have to make one conscious choice at a time, to eat what's real, to keep what nature created whole, to give your gut the chance to move freely and heal deeply. Drink more water, eat fruit with the peel. Don't strain your juice. Use whole grains, real vegetables, living food. These are not rules, they're reminders. Reminders that the body doesn't need perfection, only consistency. Every time you choose the natural over the processed, you're teaching your body to trust you again. And trust is where healing begins. The part of food you used to throw away, the peel, the pulp, the fiber, was never waste. It was the missing link between how you eat and how you feel. When you put it back where it belongs, your gut finds rhythm, your blood finds flow, and your pain fades quietly. That's the beauty of nature. It never gives up on you. Even when you forget its ways, it waits. Patient, forgiving, ready to restore you. So before you throw something away today, pause. Look at that peel, that pulp, that bit of fiber, and remember what you've learned here. Inside that waste is the simplest, safest, most powerful cure your body will ever know. Share this message with someone who needs it, because there are millions of people living in silence, believing their pain is normal, when in truth, relief could be sitting right there on their plate. And if you want to keep learning how to heal your body naturally, subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week you'll discover more ways to feed your body with wisdom and to live in harmony with the design that's been perfect since the beginning. Because health doesn't start with medicine. It starts with awareness. It starts when you stop throwing away what heals you, and it begins right now with your next bite.